they should tell this Indian government to make an enduring environment in Bangladesh so that there can be a free, fair election. Unless there will be an inclusive, free, fair election, there will be a civil war that is inevitable in Bangladesh.
Siddhant, I want to get that perspective from you. Mr. Kabir is pointing out a great political opportunity for Sheikh Hasina to make a return because the Yunus regime is not popular right now in Bangladesh, as well as the rise of the fundamentalist forces that we're seeing inside Bangladesh. So an aggressive Sheikh Hasina, given the circumstances in Bangladesh, is a good diplomatic and a geopolitical opportunity for India.
Well, that's right, but India has never thought this way, Ayushman, to be very honest, that India could use Sheikh Hasina as a tool perhaps to deal with Bangladesh. Never ever. In fact, time and again, India has assured Bangladesh, in fact, this new government, full support when it comes to the benefit and work together when it comes to the benefit of two people. So with this, logic that India may use Sheikh Hasina as a tool, or perhaps this is a new diplomatic advantage that India has over Bangladesh. I don't think that is the case. All India wants is free, fair and inclusive elections in Bangladesh, and perhaps if Sheikh Hasina is giving interviews to the Indian press or to the international press, if she is speaking, she is issuing statement, perhaps India is a democratic country. India believes in freedom of press. India also believes in free speech. She can do that, and
right. Mr. Kabir, if Mr. Kabir is still with us, right, we'll try to get that perspective from Mr. Kabir and Siddhant as well, but that is the situation on the ground. Mr. Kabir, as you were pointing out that the Awami League is still popular given the unpopularity of the current Yunus regime, as well as this unleashing of fundamentalist forces inside Bangladesh. On the other side of the political spectrum, who can give that tough fight to the Awami League, which is the more organized force, because it won't be an easy fight for Sheikh Hasina's party?
Okay, now after 2024, this Bangladesh has divided into pro-liberation and anti-liberation forces, and BNP was pretending to be the pro-liberation forces, but their acting and their all activities are in favor of anti-liberation forces. So if there would be an election, inclusive election in the country, there will be a three-party conflict and three-party contest. Like Zamaat has getting momentum, and they have huge fund, and they have used ammunition, arms, and they have cadre in their grassroots level. BNP was very much popular, but last 1.5 years they are decreasing their popularity because of their some unrest in their internal circle, and also BNP has some problem with the people. They are just starting some violence. There's corruptions. So there will be a three-party contest if only would get the equal level playing field, and if there will be a free, fair election in the country.
Right, and talking about the geopolitical opportunity, Siddhant, your perspective on this, given the turmoil inside Bangladesh, and especially in the wake of this ruling by the Dhaka court, which has pretty much inflamed the Awami League. We've also seen in the past few weeks how the Yunus regime has warmed itself to Pakistan, warmed itself to China. There is a trifecta, if you will, that has been created in India's neighborhood. Also the greater Bangladesh jibe which came in from the Yunus regime, taking over a huge chunk of the northeast. What kind of opportunities or what kind of analysis is running through the minds of the officials in the NEA right now?
Well, look, India is ready to work with any government in Bangladesh for the benefit of the people of two countries. But also the fact is, Mohammed Yunus is not an elected leader. He is an interim leader of Bangladesh. In fact, as far as engagements are concerned, Ayushman, then in February there was a visit. Foreign Secretary visited Bangladesh in December. In fact, NSA of Bangladesh is expected to be in India. I think by now he must be in India. He has come here for the Colombo security dialogue. So engagements between the two government is going on. There is no doubt about it. All India wants is free, fair and inclusive elections. India definitely wants to speak and to engage with the elected leader elected by the people of Bangladesh. Perhaps Mohammad Yunus was chosen as the interim leader. All the stakeholders supported him at that point in time, but he has failed miserably when it comes to delivery, Ayushman. All he has been doing is making provocative statements, loose remarks. Perhaps one day he says that we are the guardians of ocean, we will provide access to the northeastern states, to the oceans. One day he gives a book to some foreign dignitary where the Indian territory is shown as the Bangladeshi territory. One day he will go to Doha or maybe some West Asian country and say that Indian media does a lot of fake news. India is a factory of fake news, things like that. So such statements from Mohammad Yunus have really been impacting the relationship between India and Bangladesh. There is no doubt about it. And perhaps this is the reason that Indian government time and again, even when the elections were not announced by Mohammad Yunus, have been reminding the Bangladesh government that there is a need for an early election. So definitely India, being a neighbor, being a friendly country, wants stability in Bangladesh, wants Bangladesh to elect a leader with which India can work closely for the benefit of the two people. In fact, yesterday, Ayushman, we reported that how the Pakistani clerics were invited to Dhaka, including Maulana Fazlur Rahman and Aurangzeb. Both of them made provocative speeches at Uddan in Dhaka, the same place which once witnessed the historic speech of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the same playground which once saw the surrender of the Pakistani soldiers to the Bangladeshi soldiers. Perhaps on the same place the provocative speeches were made, and these Pakistani clerics, what they demanded, a blasphemy law to be implemented in Bangladesh, or the same model which is existing in Pakistan. So such things have been happening. The extremist forces are mushrooming. The forces like Jamaat-e-Islami, in fact there are other factions also, other groups also, they do their gatherings, they make provocative speeches, and Mohammad Yunus, who was once seen as this modern technocrat, forward-looking person, perhaps has been reduced to being a leader of these extremist forces, because he helps them with space, he allows them to do whatever they want to do, and perhaps that is the reason that he's enjoying power.
Right, so this re-Pakistanization of Bangladesh is something that is a huge cause for concern, especially given the fact that fundamentalist forces are mushrooming inside Bangladesh. But at the same time, India hedging its bets on both sides, currently maintaining the line that democracy should thrive in the nation of Bangladesh. Mr. Kabir, when we look at the student protests which erupted in Bangladesh, one thing that was really striking for the people of India was the demolition and the defacing of the statues of Mujibur Rahman, the founder of Bangladesh, the man who used democracy to carve out Bangladesh. Clearly it was an armed struggle as well, but at the same time he was the father of Bangladesh. What does, one sec, please hold on with us, we're getting a piece of breaking news. What we are learning is that crores of workers are ready, there will be war again, our struggle will continue. This is the pitch that's coming in from the Awami League declaring all-out war inside Bangladesh, ladies and gentlemen, in the wake of the Dhaka court ruling. What we are learning is that the pitch that's gone from the Awami League to all of its workers on the ground reads, crores of workers are ready, there will be war again, our struggle will continue. Victory to Bangla. You can see the pitch that they've put on social media. Clearly, Sheikh Hasina and her entire leadership ready for all-out war inside Bangladesh after the Dhaka court ruling that sentenced her to death for the deaths which took place during the student agitation, which led to the ouster of her regime. So as you can see, the language is only escalating from Sheikh Hasina. She has said there will be war again, our struggle will continue, victory to Bangla. And as my colleague Siddhant as well as Mr. Kabir were pointing out, the mushrooming of fundamentalist forces, the cozying up with Pakistan, the re-Pakistanization, the post-1971 attempt to convert Bangladesh into another version of Pakistan is something the Awami League is now fighting against, especially spurred by this ruling of the court that's coming from Dhaka, which has sentenced Sheikh Hasina as well as the Home Minister to death. And now this is the pitch coming in from the Awami League. They put this war cry, if you will, on social media, saying crores of workers are ready, there will be war again, our struggle will continue, victory to Bangla. Mr. Kabir, how do you see this statement coming in? It's clearly what we've been discussing, the Awami League ready for all-out war inside Bangladesh, given the fact that this death sentence has only spurred the leaders on the ground.
Yeah, that was what I was telling before, that Bangladesh Awami League will not sit aside and they will watch this all mockery verdict and or mockery trials. They will act, and now Awami League has ground in the field and they have popularity also, so they will fight it out definitely. And one point, as you said earlier, you asked me that why the father of the nation's movement was destroyed, why Dhanmondi Bangabandhu Bhavan was destroyed. So in answer to that question, we have to go to the 71. This 5th August so-called revolution was not a people's revolution. It was a conspiracy by Pakistanis, ISI and the anti-liberation forces to make Bangladesh Pakistan again. And now it is the all patriotic people should stood up and fight against this Pakistani ISI, Pakistani regime and anti-liberation force. That's the bottom line. So whether you have to decide that whether you are pro-Bangladeshi or you are pro-Pakistani, whether you are in favor of liberation or whether you are against the liberation. That's the division in the country now, and we have to decide something.
Right, so that is the political battle line that has been drawn inside Bangladesh in the wake of this verdict by the Dhaka court. Are you pro-Bangladeshi or pro-Pakistani? And the Awami League under Sheikh Hasina seems to have found that great political opportunity to pave the road for her return. That message coming in from the Awami League on social media that they are ready for war. So this is a message that has gone on from Sheikh Hasina to the Yunus regime. We will continue to track all the developments which are coming in. For now, a quick break. More news and updates on the other side.
हमारे लोगों को जो हुआ वहाँ पे डेड बॉडीज अगर ला सके तो प्रोसीजर के लिए क्या हो सकता, वो एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्रोसीजर आसानी से करो बोलकर, और जितना हो सके तो जल्दी फास्ट प्रोसेस करो बोलकर रिक्वेस्ट है गवर्नमेंट से, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट दोनों से रिक्वेस्ट है। एमपी साहब से भी हमारे लोगों को जो हुआ वहाँ पे डेड बॉडीज अगर ला सके तो प्रोसीजर के लिए क्या हो सकता, वो एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्रोसीजर आसानी से करो बोलकर, और जितना हो सके तो जल्दी फास्ट प्रोसेस करो बोलकर रिक्वेस्ट है गवर्नमेंट से, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट दोनों से रिक्वेस्ट है। MP साहब से भी रिक्वेस्ट है, आप देखिए कैसा होता है। असदुद्दीन साहब से है, हमारे सबसे है रिक्वेस्ट, आप प्लीज इसमें वर्कआउट करिए। इसके अंदर पूरा खानदान हमारा खत्म हो गया एक चीज के अंदर।
ये मुझे भी खबर अभी मालूम हुई है कि हैदराबाद के 2 ट्रैवल एजेंसी, एक फ्लाई जोन टूर्स एंड ट्रैवल्स और मक्का हज एंड उमरा के 42 हाजी मक्का से मदीना जा रहे थे बस में, और बस को आग लगने से मालूम हुआ कि सिर्फ एक शख्स की जान बची है। कंफर्म नहीं है, बात कह रहे हैं कि पूरों का इंतकाल हो गया। तो मैंने इंडियन एम्बेसी रियाद में जो DCM है अबू मैथिन जॉर्ज साहब से मेरी बात हुई, और उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि कौंसल जनरल जिद्दा भी और वो खुद इस पर मालूमात हासिल कर रहे हैं और जो भी ज़रूरी कार्रवाई करना है वो करेंगे। और साथ ही साथ मैंने इन तमाम उमरा पैसेंजर्स के दोनों ट्रैवल एजेंसी से वीज़ा डिटेल्स लेकर कौंसल जनरल ऑफ इंडिया जिद्दा को और DCM इंडियन एम्बेसी रियाद को और साथ ही साथ फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी को मैंने ईमेल किया है। मेरी भारत सरकार से और ख़ास तौर से एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर से जयशंकर साहब से ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो इमीडिएटली इस पर देखें, और अगर जिन लोगों की डेथ हुई है उनके परिवार ये चाह रहा है कि उनकी डेड बॉडीज जल्द से जल्द इंडिया को लाई जाए, और अगर कोई उसमें ज़ख्मी है तो उनको अच्छी से अच्छी वहाँ पर उनको इलाज हो सके। ये मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ हमारे एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर से और भारत सरकार से।
हमारे लोगों को जो हुआ वहाँ पे डेड बॉडीज अगर ला सके तो प्रोसीजर के लिए क्या हो सकता, वो एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्रोसीजर आसानी से करो बोलकर, और जितना हो सके तो जल्दी फास्ट प्रोसेस करो बोलकर रिक्वेस्ट है गवर्नमेंट से, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट दोनों से रिक्वेस्ट है। एमपी साहब से भी रिक्वेस्ट है, आप देखिए कैसा होता। असुद्दीन साहब से है, हमारे सबसे है रिक्वेस्ट, आप प्लीज़ इसमें वर्कआउट करिए। इसके अंदर पूरा खानदान हमारा ख़त्म हो गया एक चीज़ के अंदर।
ये मुझे भी खबर अभी मालूम हुई है कि हैदराबाद के दो ट्रैवल एजेंसी, एक फ्लाई जोन टूर्स एंड ट्रैवल्स और मक्का हज एंड उम्रा के 42 हाजी मक्का से मदीना जा रहे थे बस में, और बस को आग लगने से मालूम हुआ कि सिर्फ एक शख्स की जान बची है, कंफर्म नहीं है। बात कह रहे हैं कि पूरों का इंतकाल हो गया। तो मैंने इंडियन एम्बेसी रियाद में जो डीसीएम है अबू मैथिन जॉर्ज साहब से मेरी बात हुई, और उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि कौंसल जनरल जिद्दा भी और वो खुद इस पर मालूमात हासिल कर रहे हैं, और जो भी ज़रूरी कार्रवाई करना है वो करेंगे। और साथ ही साथ मैंने इन तमाम उम्रा पैसेंजर्स के दोनों ट्रैवल एजेंसी से वीज़ा डिटेल्स लेकर कौंसल जनरल ऑफ इंडिया जिद्दा को और डीसीएम इंडियन एम्बेसी रियाद को और साथ ही साथ फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी को मैंने ईमेल किया है। मेरी भारत सरकार से और ख़ास तौर से एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर से जयशंकर साहब से ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो इमीडिएटली इस पर देखें, और अगर जिन लोगों की डेथ हुई है उनके परिवार ये चाह रहा है कि उनकी डेड बॉडीज जल्द से जल्द इंडिया को लाई जाए, और अगर कोई उसमें ज़ख्मी है तो उनको अच्छी से अच्छी वहाँ पर उनको इलाज हो सके। ये मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ हमारे एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर से और भारत सरकार से।
हमारे लोगों को जो हुआ वहाँ पे डेड बॉडीज अगर ला सके तो प्रोसीजर के लिए क्या हो सकता, वो एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि प्रोसीजर आसानी से करो बोलकर, और जितना हो सके तो जल्दी फास्ट प्रोसेस करो बोलकर रिक्वेस्ट है गवर्नमेंट से, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट दोनों से रिक्वेस्ट है। एमपी साहब से भी रिक्वेस्ट है, आप देखिए कैसा होता, असदुद्दीन साहब से है, हमारे सबसे है रिक्वेस्ट, आप प्लीज़ इसमें वर्कआउट करिए। इसके अंदर पूरा खानदान हमारा ख़त्म हो गया एक चीज़ के अंदर।
ये मुझे भी खबर अभी मालूम हुई है कि हैदराबाद के दो ट्रैवल एजेंसी, एक फ्लाई जोन टूर्स एंड ट्रैवल्स और अल मक्का हज एंड उम्रा के 42 हाजी मक्का से मदीना जा रहे थे बस में, और बस को आग लगने से मालूम हुआ कि सिर्फ एक शख्स की जान बची है, कंफर्म नहीं है, बात कह रहे हैं कि पूरों का इंतकाल हो गया। तो मैंने इंडियन एम्बेसी रियाद में जो डीसीएम है अबू मैथिन जॉर्ज साहब से मेरी बात हुई, और उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि कौंसल जनरल जिद्दा भी और वो खुद इस पर मालूमात हासिल कर रहे हैं, और जो भी ज़रूरी कार्रवाई करना है वो करेंगे। और साथ ही साथ मैंने इन तमाम उम्रा पैसेंजर्स के दोनों ट्रैवल एजेंसी से वीज़ा डिटेल्स लेकर कौंसल जनरल ऑफ इंडिया जिद्दा को और डीसीएम इंडियन एम्बेसी रियाद को और साथ ही साथ फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी को मैंने ईमेल किया है। मेरी भारत सरकार से और ख़ास तौर से एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर से जयशंकर साहब से ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो इमीडिएटली इस पर देखें, और अगर जिन लोगों की डेथ हुई है उनके परिवार ये चाह रहा है कि उनकी डेड बॉडीज जल्द से जल्द इंडिया को लाई जाए, और अगर कोई उसमें ज़ख्मी है तो उनको अच्छी से अच्छी वहाँ पर उनको इलाज हो सके। ये मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ हमारे एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर से और भारत सरकार से।